Now we will see Class 12 Geography, Chapter 5, Unit 3, Primary Activities, Part 2. Intensive subsistence agriculture. This type of agriculture is largely found in densely populated regions of monsoon Asia. Basically, there are two types of intensive subsistence agriculture. 1. Intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by wet paddy cultivation. This type of agriculture is characterized by dominance of rice crop. Land holdings are very small due to the high density of population. Farmers work with the help of family labor, leading to intensive use of land. Use of machineries is limited and most of the agricultural operations are done by manual labor. Farmyard manure is used to maintain the fertility of the soil. Farmyard manure is used to maintain the fertility of the soil. In this type of agriculture, the yield per unit area is high, but per labor productivity is low. 2. Intensive subsistence agriculture dominated by crops other than paddy. Due to the difference in the relief, climate, soil, and some of the other geographical factors, it is not practical to grow paddy in many parts of monsoon Asia. Wheat, soya bean, barley, and sorghum are grown in northern China, Manchuria, North Korea, and North Japan. In India, wheat is grown in western parts of the India Gangetic plains, and the millets are grown in dry parts of western and southern India. Most of the characteristics of this type of agriculture are similar to those dominated by wet paddy, except that irrigation is often used. The Europeans colonized many parts in the world and they introduced some other forms of agriculture such as plantations, which were mainly profit-oriented large-scale production systems. Before that, figure 5.8, the areas of intensive subsistence farming. Here they give wet rice dominant crop, other crop dominated. Now we go to page number 37, plantation agriculture. Plantation agriculture, as mentioned above, was introduced by the Europeans in the colonies situated in the tropics. Some of the important plantation crops are tea, coffee, cocoa, rubber, cotton, oil palm, sugarcane, bananas, and pineapples. The characteristic features of this type of farming are large estates or plantations, large capital investment, managerial and technical support, scientific methods of cultivation, single crop specialization, cheap labor, and a good system of transportation which links the estates to the factories and the markets for the export of the products. The French established cocoa and coffee plantations in West Africa. The British set up large tea gardens in India and Sri Lanka, rubber plantations in Malaysia, and sugarcane and banana plantation in West Indies. The Spanish and Americans invested heavily in coconut and sugarcane plantation in the Philippines. The Dutch once had monopoly over sugarcane plantations in Indonesia. Some coffee fazendas, large plantations in Brazil, are still managed by Europeans. Today, ownership of the majority of the plantations has passed into the hands of the government or the nationals of the countries concerned. Figure 5.10 tea plantation. The slopes of the hills are used for the tea plantations because of favorable geographical condition. Here they give figure 5.9 rice transplantation. Extensive commercial grain plantation. Commercial grain plantation is practiced in the interior part of semi-arid lands of mid-latitudes. Wheat is the principal crop, though other crops like corn, barley, oats and rye are also grown. The size of the farm is very large, therefore entire operations of the cultivation from plucking to harvesting are mechanized. Figure 5.11. There is low yield per acre but high yield per person. Why does this happen? Figure 5.11. Mechanized grain farming. Combined drews are capable of harvesting grain over many hectares in a single day. This type of agriculture is best developed in Eurasian steppes, the Canadian and American prairies, the pampas of Argentina and the wastes of South Africa, the Australian Downs and the Canterbury Plains of New Zealand. In bracket, locate these areas on the world map. Figure 5.12. Areas of extensive commercial grain farming. Then we move to mixed farming. This form of agriculture is found in the highly developed parts of the world. Example, Western Europe, Eastern North America, parts of Eurasia and the temperate latitudes of southern continents. Figure 5.14. Mixed forms are moderate in size and usually the crops associated with it are wheat, barley, oats, rye, maize, fodder and food crops. Fodder crops are an important component of mixed farming. The crop rotations and intercropping play an important role in maintaining the soil fertility. Equal emphasis is laid on crop cultivation and animal husbandry. Animals like cattle, sheep, pigs and poultry provide the main income along with the crops. Mixed farming is characterized by high capital expenditure on farm machineries and building, extensive use of chemical fertilizers and green manures, and also by the skill and expertise of the farmers. Dairy farming. Dairy is the most advanced and efficient type of rearing of milch animals. It is highly capital intensive. Animal sheds, storage facilities for fodder, feeding and milking machines add to the cost of dairy farming. Special emphasis is laid on the cattle breeding. Special emphasis is laid on cattle breeding, healthcare and the veterinary services. Figure 5.13, a dairy farm in Austria. Figure 5.14, areas of mixed farming. It is highly labor intensive as it involves rigorous care in breeding, in feeding and mulching. There is no off-season during the year as in the case of crab raising. It is practiced mainly near urban and industrial centers which provide neighborhood market for fresh milk and dairy products. The development of transportation, refrigeration, pasteurization and other preservation processes have increased the duration of storage of various dairy products. Figure 5.15a, vineyard in Switzerland. There are three main regions of commercial dairy farming. The largest is northwestern Europe, the second is Canada, and the third belt includes southeastern Australia, New Zealand and Tasmania. Figure 5.16. Mediterranean agriculture. Mediterranean agriculture is highly specialized commercial agriculture. It is practiced in the countries on either side of the Mediterranean. Here figure 5.15b, collection of grapes in the collective form of Kazakhstan. Figure 5.16, areas of dairy farming. See in Europe and in North Africa for Tunisia to Atlantic coast, Southern California, Central Chile, southwestern parts of South Africa, and south and southwestern parts of Australia. This region is an important supplier of citrus fruits. Horticulture or the grape cultivation is the specialty of the Mediterranean region. The best quality wines in the world with extensive flavors are produced from high quality of grapes in various countries of this region. The best quality wines in the world with distinctive flavors are produced from high quality grapes in various countries of this region. The inferior grapes are dried into raisins and currants. This region also produces olives and figs. The advantage of Mediterranean agriculture is that more valuable crops such as fruits and vegetables are grown in winters when there is a great demand in European and North American markets. Market gardening and horticulture. Market gardening and horticulture specialize in the cultivation of high value crops such as vegetables, fruits and flowers solely for the urban markets. Farms are small and are located where there are good transportation links with urban center, where high income groups of consumer is located. It is both labor and capital intensive and lays emphasis on the use of irrigation, HYV seeds, fertilizers, insecticides, greenhouses and artificial heating in colder regions. This type of agriculture is well developed in intensively populated industrial districts of northwest Europe, northeastern United States of America, and the Mediterranean regions. The Netherlands specializes in growing flowers and horticulture crops, specifically tulips, which are flown to all major cities of Europe. The regions where farmers specialize in vegetables only, the farming is known as truck farming. The distance of truck farms from the market is governed by the distance that a truck can cover overnight, hence the name truck farming. In addition to market gardening, a modern development in the industrial regions of Western Europe and North America is factory farming. Livestock, particularly poultry and cattle, rearing is done in stalls and pens fed on manufactured feedstuff and carefully supervised against disease. This requires heavy capital investment in terms of building machineries for various operations, veterinary services, and heating and lighting. One of the most important features of poultry farming and the cattle rearing is breed selection and scientific breeding. This type of farming can also be categorized according to the farming organization. Farming organization is affected by the way in which farmers own their farms and various policies of the government which help to run these farms. Cooperative farming. A group of farmers form a cooperative society by pooling in their resources voluntarily for more efficient and profitable farming. Individual farms remain intact and farming is a matter of cooperative intensity. Cooperative societies help farmers to procure all important inputs of farming, sell the products at the most favorable terms, and help in processing of quality products at cheaper rates. The cooperative movement originated over a century ago and has been successful in many Western European countries like Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden, Italy, etc. In Denmark, the movement has been so successful that practically every farmer is a member of the cooperative. Collective farming. The basic principle behind this type of farming is based on social ownership of the means of production and collective labor. Collective farming or the model of Polas was introduced in erstwhile Soviet Union to improve upon the inefficiency of the previous methods of agriculture and to boost agricultural production for self-sufficiency. The farmers used to pool in all the resources like land, livestock, and labor. However, they were allowed to retain very small flat to grow crops in order to meet their daily requirements. Mining. The discovery of minerals in the history of the human development is reflected in many stages in terms of Copper Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. The use of minerals in ancient times was largely confined to making of tools, utensils, and weapons. The actual development of mining began with the Industrial Revolution and its importance is continuously increasing. Factors affecting mining activity. The profitability of mining operation thus depends on two main factors. 1. Physical factors include the size, grade, and the mode of occurrence of the deposits. 2. Economic factors such as demand for the mineral, technology available and used, capital to develop infrastructures, and the labor and transport costs. Here the figure 5.17a, vegetables being grown in the vicinity of the city. Figure 5.17b, vegetables being loaded into a truck and cycle carts for transporting to a city markets. Thank you.